I'm thinking to myself, man, do I really want to call my dad? What up, YouTube? This is LJ, and I'm back with another video. Today, I'm gonna do a story time. How many of y'all are driving a car right now you don't trust? Like, seriously, how many of you driving a car you don't trust? Like, the thing about cars is, when you first get them, you on the fence. You know what I'm saying? You on the fence. Man, you on the fence. You might trust them, might not trust them. After about maybe a couple of months of consistent good performance, then you'll give them a little bump up in the trust scale. But if you ever had a car and something broke on it, the funny thing about that is once you get that car back, you don't trust it at all. Like, it's on a probationary period. Like, because you don't trust it no more. So you start doing things you don't usually do. You either come out early or you start trying to check it. But shoot, I've had so many cars I don't trust. Man, I had this Ford Escort. Oh my gosh.
Bruh.
Okay, so this is what happened with this Escort. I went off to school and I was working overnights, getting ready to go to college. I was saving up for a Honda Accord. My dad, being the man that he is, you got to get a car right now. You about to go off to school. Yeah, I'm saving up for it. So one Saturday, I'm at the house chilling, and out of nowhere, my uncle come up, and my dad had mentioned this beat up car that he had. But my uncle come up, and being that my dad and my uncle didn't have great history at one time because of some situation, my dad was like, he got a car, I don't know if you want it, but I'll check it out if you do. So I'm kind of looking at the car like, I don't want this car, I want this Honda Accord. But I told him this, so I'm thinking you just gonna kind of let it go. And then Saturday come, and next thing I know, my uncle show up and they got this car. So I ended up paying for a car that I really didn't want. So anyway, I get the car. My dad had to do some stuff to it immediately. And anybody who ever had a Ford, fix or repair daily, for real. Every weekend I was in school, my dad was fixing something on that car, and he was mad at me telling me off because of him having to be on the car. And I'm looking at him like, if he would have just let me save up the rest of the money to get this Honda Accord I wanted, maybe you would even be on this car. So, man, and this Honda Accord, everything broke down. The struts went out on it. The alternator went out quite a few times. The battery died, of course, because of the alternator situation. I had to replace countless battery posts on it. One night, my brother was working in what's that? West Tupelo? Yeah, my brother was working in West Tupelo, and by his job is quite a bit away from my house. So I rode over there that night to see him at his break so I can talk to him for a minute. So I talked to him, I get in the car, I'm getting ready to drive off because he got to go back to work. And all of a sudden my car goes. Oh man, don't start this mess now. It's 11:30 at night. It was cold and just me. And this was right before cell phones blew up. So I had this little piece of crap phone. It was a prepaid phone, track phone. But the way track phone worked, if you accepted a text, that's a half a credit. If you answer the call, that's a full credit. So you have to be strategic how you want to use your minutes. Because if somebody texts you and it wasn't that long, you can just like go to the inbox and it'll show you what they said, so you don't always have to open the message. So I had ran out of minutes, obviously, because I was in college, and I'm on the road. And I had like maybe 3. I'm thinking to myself, man, do I really want to call my dad and hear everything he gonna tell me? Because he gonna give me a lecture. You best believe that's gonna happen. do I wanna call him and hear everything he about to say, or do I wanna just get out this car, try to figure it out? and through the grace of God, maybe I can get back on track. So I get out the car, because of course I'm not gonna call him. Well, my brother don't know none of this. He in there working. So I get out the car, I go to the trunk, I open the trunk, I get my little toolbox, I go to the front, I flip the hood up, and I'm looking at the battery terminals because I know that's probably the problem, right? So I touch them, and one is tight. I touched the other one, and it was tight. But as soon as I went to unscrew it to take it off, it was loose. So I didn't know that it had a little short in it. So I had been through this so many times. I had spare parts in the trunk. So I go to the back and get a battery, a brand new terminal that connects the cable to the battery. And I, do my little thing, get it all situated or whatever. I used to use one of those little grinders and grind out all the old deposits that's on the post, and then put them on. So I took them off, put them on, got in the car, man, I know, man, I did this for about 30 to 45 minutes, right? So I get to a point where I'm like, man, it don't look like I'm gonna get off the side of the road. I'm gonna have to call him. Yeah, Pops, I'm on the side of the road, and I tried the battery post and everything, like you said, and before I could say another word, I told you about checking them battery posts. You should be checking them. See, now you stuck on the side of the road late at night. I should leave your little butt out there. You know what? I'll be on my way. Click. Didn't get to say nothing else, so now I'm just sitting on the side of the road, waiting on him. Getting out the car, going back to the front, and trying everything I know to get this damn car to crank up, right? Nothing. Now I'm just sitting in the car like, you know what? I don't even care if he says something. He gonna say it, I'm just gonna, whatever. He get to me, he get out, look at the cables. I tell him what he said. He said, try it. Nothing. All right, go to his trunk, get his big, super deluxe, complex toolbox out, all these dang on tools, and I'm just looking at him like, oh man. You go in there and grab one of these tools, all of a sudden I hear, try it again. It took him all of 3 minutes once he pulled up to fix this issue that I had been out there for like 45 minutes trying to fix, right? Soon as he finished, didn't I tell you about the battery posts? I showed him everything I did, and he said, see, you still forgot. I had forgot something. It was something that I forgot, but he went on and fixed it, and he showed me. From that point on, I did everything in my power to make sure the battery posts was never an issue again. So that's one time. Another time I got caught, I was driving home, actually. And all of a sudden, my car said, zzz. The car was on, but I could not get it to move forward. And I was like, man, what is going on? So I waited, because I was still at campus. I waited, and I drove a little bit more. I came back out, crunked it up, tried to drive. It did it again. So I called my pops and said, I don't know what's going on. It's like driving and stopping. But this wasn't like an oxygen sensor situation, because I know what that's like when you get bad gas or a bad oxygen sensor and your car be like, That's a whole nother story about that. Anyway, so he comes and he checks, and come to find out that the ball bearings in the front tire, they went bad. So instead of him working on my car on the college campus, he made me drive that car from the school I was going to back to the house. When your car is working right, that's about a 45-minute drive, depending. Sometimes 30 to 45-minute drive. It took us maybe 4 hours to get home. Because it would drive so far, it would stop. I had to turn the car off and let it cool down because it was heating up. And when it heat up, it was mending to the metal. So it was not letting it go. So we get to the house. I go to the store because of course, grace of God, I had the money. I've always had the money, except for maybe 1 or 2 times I had to save up money with him when I was living with him. But anyway, had the money, go to the store, study him, because they said it's supposed to have to put it in a press, and they was gonna press it down, you know, because the way the ball bearings is it's a ring about that big with another ring and smaller than that, and on the inside of that ring is a lubricated steel ball, so it helps the thing to turn. So all of them had dried up, of course, and whatever, but you're supposed to press it in because it goes to like the wheel thing into your car. You're supposed to press it in like that, right? But my dad didn't want to do it, so he took it out there and he had this big old mallet. And if you ever seen a mallet, but his was really soft. So it took him about 30 minutes to do that. Any normal person, it probably would have took them at least a long time to do it, especially without like the tool to do it, right? It took him 30 minutes to do it. He talked so much crap about me in that car for so long, so many days. And it was just, I was just like, man. So one other time, my cousin came to visit, and he didn't really come to just see me. He came to see everybody, and he was hanging out with me now. And we in the car, right? So we getting ready to drive off, and this time the car had a bad oxygen sensor. But I went through like 3 different cars to find this out because I never knew this. I took him to so many different people, and my pops wasn't actually. I wasn't living with him when the other 2 had started having it. But I could never figure it out. So I'm driving, and the sensor went bad. So all of a sudden we driving, and all of a sudden we like. So the car will go and stop and shake for a minute. Go and stop and shake for a minute. When you put your foot on the gas, the car will like sound like it's taking off, but actually it's just losing pressure and it's about to cut off. And if you don't take your foot off the gas in time, the car, because of the way the fuel injector works or whatever with the fuel thing, it wasn't calculating everything properly. So when you everything was in reverse. When you put your foot on the gas, the car would like slow down, but it'll sound like it's taking off. When you take your foot off the gas, the car will go, but of course it will stop because you got your foot off the gas. It was so weird. So we had to stop like one day, and it started doing it. And now we're trying to turn, cause like we in traffic, we trying to turn. Man, I felt like the dang on Flintstones. You talking about somebody? I'm like pumping the brakes like this, and the car was like, I'm doing it in front of this whole people, and like my cousin in the car looking at me like, you really gotta pump the brakes like you in the Flintstones? Man, I was so embarrassed after that. It took me forever to like get back in that car to figure out what was wrong with it. And my dad fixed it. It was a sensor, but when he fixed it, it hadn't happened in so long. The next time it happened with the next 2 cars, I forgot what it was. So the 3rd car, I fixed it. The 1st car was fixed, the 2nd car wasn't fixed, and the 3rd car was fixed. It was really weird. 4th car too. But anyway, so once that got fixed, then I had that car. Well, I think I put $300 in that car the next day. No, 2 weeks later, that car threw a ride and it was done. And then I had another car where I spent $850, and the very next day it didn't crank up. Bruh. Yeah. That's why I don't have a car now. The reason why? Because I'm tired of putting money in the vehicles that don't work. I don't trust them. Period. That's just what it is. So that's why I've been Ubering. That's why I've been catching the bus. Because I don't trust cars. I'm tired of putting a whole lot of money in something that ain't gonna work. That's just a bunch of BS to me. So anyway, that's my story time. I know y'all had some bad cars. I know some of y'all watching this probably thinking right now, man, I'm glad I got rid of that. But anyway, thank you for watching. Comment, like, and share. And y'all have a great day. Peace.